The film opens with a married couple undergoing a prenatal checkup. The man is named Frank, and his wife is Leonore. They are blessed with a baby growing inside Leonore's womb, now at 8 months of pregnancy. On their way home, they are shocked to find their house broken into by thieves. This isn't the first time it's happened. Frank decides to report the incident to the police. Frank works as a building maintenance technician, always dealing with ropes and high-rise buildings. One day, he slips while working. His colleague calls for the supervisor above to come down and help, but instead, Frank skillfully descends using the building ropes and chases after the supervisor, who flees. Frank loses the man and leaves his job, rushing to meet Leonore. That night, Frank climbs up to the roof and opens a window, retrieving something hidden inside the chimney. It's a secret key he had hidden there. As Frank tries to hide the key down the sink drain, Leonore catches him. She's angry because Frank has been acting strange lately. Just as he is about to explain, their front door is suddenly broken down. Masked men burst into their home. Frank fights off several of the intruders. Surprisingly, even Leonore, despite being heavily pregnant, moves swiftly and beats up some of the attackers. But they are outnumbered. Frank is handcuffed, and the attackers force his fingerprint onto a gun. Frank is then interrogated by the gang leader, Robert. He demands to know where Frank hid the key. But Frank refuses to talk. Leonore is taken away, and Frank is kidnapped along with her. Flashback to 2 years earlier. Frank is being inaugurated as a military police officer in an anti-terror unit. He's being celebrated for his promotion. It's also revealed that Leonore was part of the same unit, explaining her combat skills. Frank became a leader among his comrades. He and Leonore went on undercover missions together, grew close, and eventually fell in love and married. On one mission, there were reports of gunshots inside a building. Military police were deployed, and as per protocol, no one was allowed to leave the building. 2 suspects were identified and indeed opened fire on the officers. Frank protected a hostage and managed to shoot one of the criminals. Sadly, many of his team were critically injured and died. His superiors were disappointed. It turned out Frank had disobeyed orders. The mission was carried out without proper command clearance. As a result, he was discharged from the military police. Shockingly, it's later revealed that the entire situation was orchestrated by corrupt government elites. They sabotaged and framed Frank to cover up their own involvement in the deaths of elite officials. They hired criminals to frame Frank for a murder, using his fingerprints taken from the gun. The criminals want the key Frank has, though its purpose is unclear. They threaten to trade it for the lives of his wife and unborn child. Frank retrieves the key hidden at his home. While evading the police, he's eventually spotted and forced to flee using all his tactical skills. He seeks help from an old friend from the academy, someone he trusts completely. Frank explains everything, his plan to rescue Leonore and how he was framed for a murder he never committed. Frank plans to track his own phone to avoid losing the location data. He arranges a trade with the criminals at an abandoned house, but things go south. They try to execute him instead. Fortunately, his friend arrives just in time, disguised as one of the criminals. They escape in one of the enemy's vehicles. A high-speed chase ensues, bullets flying. Leonore gets shot in the arm, bleeding heavily. They rush to the hospital with the criminals still in pursuit. Frank comes up with a plan. He'll lure the criminals away while Leonore and his friend head to the hospital. Frank runs alone into the forest, but now the police are chasing him, and the criminal leader escapes. Frank grabs a paraglider and soars away from the pursuing officers. Meanwhile, Leonore grows weaker from blood loss. They are being followed by the criminals. The military police receive word that Frank is on the run and prepare to capture him. Just as the criminals arrive near the hospital, Frank returns just in time to stop them from shooting his friend. A fierce fight breaks out, a race against time. The criminal leader is finally defeated. But now, the military police arrive and demand that Frank surrender. Frank raises his hands and runs to his wife, carrying her into the hospital. The military police commander urges Frank to come with him and turn himself in. Time passes. Leonore is seen having given birth. Frank, now behind bars, is later declared innocent after the murder investigation clears him. He is finally released. And now, they begin a new life together. A true miracle of the world.